Okay. You want to play it on stream yourself? Game is officially 20 years old now. Same with Sly Cooper and Beavis Raccoonus. Beavis Raccoonus. That likely was some kind of translation error or typo. Yeah. There's been a couple of typos. I don't necessarily care about the typos, but usually when I read them and I have to go back to it, that's when it's just wait, hold on a second, what the heck is going on? That concludes this week's report. The warhounds they've trained may prove troublesome. If Master Yin were available, he would easily compensate for our lack of force. Very well. We shall continue with all our current operating protocols within the city. In addition, recall half of our personnel currently dispatched to Altair. Understood. I shall take my leave, Master Sao. Have a pleasant evening. Yes. To you as well. How troublesome. I'd rather not have to request the Elder's assistance. Such help would come at a heavy debt. If only Master Yin were more cooperative, our plans would be proceeding splendidly. Worry not, I plan to uphold my end of the bargain. It wouldn't surprise me that you were eavesdropping. Dear me, I fear I may have made a few slips of the tongue. Please, we both know you said exactly as much as you wanted me to hear. Just as cunning as ever. Me? Oh goodness, no. I'm no match for you. So what do I owe this visit? Are you perhaps in the mood to cull some warhounds for us? Your subordinates are more than capable enough to handle that matter. My role is to take care of Ravash's main force, beginning with that man, Garcia. That was what you hired me for, was it not? Oh dear, you truly are no fun. It's come to my attention that you've become entangled with Arkan Seal for some odd reason. I'll have you know the CPD is quite good at their jobs, so don't do anything that will bring us trouble. Do I make myself clear? No need to worry. More importantly, what is your impression of the Special Support Section? Oh, so that's what you come here for. Let's see, they are an intriguing combination of young people. Their leader Lloyd, most of all. He's perfectly aware of his weakness, yet he continues to push forward with determination. He seems to have a strong intuition as well. To be honest, I quite like people like him. I was not asking you about your tastes. What about the other members? Again, each of them proves to be quite intriguing in their own way. Mayor McDowell's granddaughter possesses a keen sense of diplomacy and operates as the team's administrator. As for the girl from the Epstein Foundation, while her orbital staff itself is fascinating, I suspect she has some special qualities of her own. Lastly, we have our red-headed fellow. He has a certain air about him, one not dissimilar to our own. Intriguing indeed. I must ask, why have you taken such an interest in them? I simply wish to put them to a little test. I was curious to find out if they are worthy of taking on a request from Yin. I definitely want to say that I really liked that scene with Lloyd and Ellie. It was a really nice scene. Yeah, I dig it. Isn't it a bit ridiculous? Despite all the work we put in, we had no choice but to hand the case over to the First Division. If Rixia hadn't asked us in the first place, everything we uncovered would have stayed hidden. Yeah, you're right. If only there was some kind of diversion that would allow us to continue investigating. Let's think for a minute. Who would know about Yin in the first place? Well, obviously Heiwei, considering that's his current employer. And then there's their rival, Ravash, in the First Division, who's tracking Heiwei's movements, according to Dudley. From there, we can assume that Speaker Hartman, who's closely tied to Ravash, knows about him as well. That's the man you mentioned yesterday, right, Ellie? Yes, he's a career politician who more or less rules over the Diet, serving as the leader of the Imperial faction. Honestly, it wouldn't be far-fetched to say that he's Ravash's greatest supporter. Incidentally, almost all of Grandfather's reform bills were crushed by this man. I've always heard his name, but I never knew just how much power he had. If he's tied to Ravash, though, then Yin would be a threat to him as well, I imagine. Yes, which means they wouldn't have much of a connection. Theo, Randy? You two look completely bewildered. Is there something we're missing? No, it's just... You seem to be in much better mood today, Ellie. I guess so. Sorry about yesterday, everyone. I wasn't acting like myself. But I'm fine now. And I don't intend to be a burden to the team anymore. You've never been a burden to us, Ellie. Quite the opposite, actually. You help us out all the time. I mean, look at us now. Thanks to your political knowledge, we're making progress by leaps and bounds. Oh, you really think so? Something smells fishy. Agreed, something is off. Very off. Wait a minute, you two. You know, now that I think of it, I could swear I heard a pair of voices chattering away on the roof from my window. I wonder. Congratulations, Lloyd and Ellie. I wish the best for you two. Hold on, we didn't do anything that deserves a congratulations, right, Ellie? Yes, I mean, no. We were just talking about life and other things of that nature. Life, eh? Yeah, I talk life with the ladies now and again. So tell me, how far do you two go? Randy. Please, Teal's sitting right there. How far did you go? Is Randy referring to the intimacy people engage in while in romantic relationships? Nope, not at all. Lloyd and Ellie, sitting in a tree. That's enough for today. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I almost said it. Me and Ellie together, romantically. You guys know that wouldn't happen. Huh? I mean, I don't think we're all that compatible, and I can't really imagine our relationship going that way. Right, Ellie? Matter. You idiot. He stepped right on a landmine. Oh yes, you are so right, Lloyd. All I did was ask you for some advice on a very unimportant subject, that's all. And there most definitely wasn't any sort of romantic atmosphere, like you oh so graciously pointed out. Alright then. You know, by incompatible, I only meant that we don't exactly make a good match. Sorry. Well, either way, glad to see you got some more fire in you today, Mademoiselle Ellie. Ah, yes, thank goodness. Was not sure whether or not you were going to stay with the CPD. Sorry, I never meant to make you all worry. I don't know where the future will take me, but right now, I know this is where I'm meant to be. For everyone, I'm happy to to keep working with you. Ellie. So am I, Ellie. Darn straight. Besides, doubt we'd get much done around here without you to keep us in line. I wouldn't have to be so stern all the time if you didn't try to wander off to the casino every other day, Randy. Well, that's enough of that. What should we do about the investigation from here on out? Good question. We could always attempt to corner Yin with a different approach than the one the First Division is using. However, that, unfortunately, does not do much to narrow our options down. In that case, I've got an idea. How about we have ourselves a trip to Calvard's eastern quarter? I bet we'd find a few clues about Yin there. Oh, why didn't I think of that? But would the department even authorize a business trip to a foreign country? Eastern quarter is far outside our jurisdiction, after all. Wait, are we actually going to go to Calvard? Theo, what are you doing? I was contemplating looking into the police database a bit more. Perhaps I would be able to learn about the First Division's movements and so on. However, I already searched it last night, so there may not be much in the way of new information. Try it anyway. Beats sitting around here doing nothing. What's wrong? How strange. It seems as though we've received an orb mail. That again? Aren't they essentially letters that can be sent from terminal to terminal? Precisely. The peculiar thing is, despite being extremely useful, almost no one in the CPD uses the functionality. Most likely because not many officers are trained to use keyboards. And I'm one of them, unfortunately. Well, who's it from? Let me check. What? What is it? Who would send us? I, Yin, hereby submit my support request. Overcome this trial and face me. Only then will I grant you your mission. It's him. Is this some kind of joke? Tio, where was this mail sent from? Definitely not the police department. Got it. It was sent from the International Bank of Crossbell, otherwise known as the IBC. What does this mean? The IBC is that bank that rakes in Mira from all over Zemuria, right? Why the heck would a place like that be sending us prank mail? Why do you assume I would know? I can say, however, that this mail was definitely sent from the IBC terminal. I have no way of knowing who sent it, though. Could it be possible that Yin infiltrated the IBC? Not out of the question. The IBC building is home to quite a few external companies and organizations. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's an Epstein Foundation office, too. That is correct. An acquaintance of mine works there. However, I should have been more clear. The orbital mail was sent directly from the IBC's main terminal. Because of that, I think the possibility of an external company being involved is low. Well, we won't know until we ask them. I wanted our investigation to fly under the 1st Division's radar, but we really don't have any other choice. And going undercover this time might be a little tricky. Should we hurry up and check it out before they get in our way again? Actually, we may be able to perform our search in secret after all. Really? How exactly? My best friend's father works at the IBC. If we explain the situation to him, he might give us a hand. You think so? Hey, ain't that convenient? Well, well, Mademoiselle Ellie. You got more connections than you know what to do with, don't you? I have a decent amount. Unfortunately, I have no way of knowing whether or not he's even in Crossbell City, given how hectic his schedule is. What sort of position does he hold there? You may have heard of him, actually. His name is Dieter Croy. What? What? He famous or something? I'll say. Honestly, you could make the argument that he's just as well known as Ilya. Dieter Croy. He is one of the continent's most wealthy individuals and leading figure in the Zemurian economy, as well as the current CEO of the International Bank of Crossbell. He's the top dog of the whole freaking bank? He was originally an old friend of my father's, but he's also kept a friendly relationship with my grandfather. Because of that, I've known him a good portion of my life. And his daughter is one of my closest childhood friends. Wow, that's amazing. But even if he is the CEO, we won't be able to do much if he's not there. You're right, I heard he spends most of his, almost half of the year abroad on business trips. Nevertheless, there's no harm in trying, is there? Even if he isn't in town, my friend might be. She may be able to help us. Let's do it then. We're getting somewhere with the investigation, now at least, but... These birds are driving me crazy. Are you worried about the intentions behind the orb mail? It was written similarly to the threat letter, but his reason for sending it remains unclear. Well, he went out of his way to send us a challenge. It'd be rude of us to not take the bait, you know. Agreed. Shall we head to the IBC then? My goodness. That was a lot. I need to save. Alright, I saw some stuff pop up. Epic Otter has put in a viewer request for Star Fox Adventures. You have a feeling Axel won't be wanting to pay 160 for Layton versus Wright. You know, I actually looked into... I remember there was a game that you had thought about recommending, or you had recommended before, but not like officially recommended it. And I tried looking into it, but I forgot the name of it. And Epic Otter, thank you very much for the 15 months. Another month with the guy who has the best acronyms around. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I don't have any water. Good catch. Way to PG that one. I always keep it PG. This is not a PG stream, but I am PG. For the most part, anyway. You blew it, son. Yeah, Lloyd has some work. He has some work that needs to be done. Wayne vs. Right is fun, but very expensive for sure these days. There are ways to get cheaper copies of games. I could like, for example, I bought Ghost Trick. I actually finally got that game. But instead of getting the case and the manual and all that stuff, I just got the game. And that was within the budget. You know, the $100 budget. You know, it's such a insane budget to have. But, you know, I finally picked that one up. So it's possible that I can, you know, locate a copy that is just the game and, you know, have it be within my range, or at least closer to my range. Darn, this place never fails to impress me. Yeah, it's enormous. I'd guess it's at least 10 stories high. Stories? What the heck is a story? That thing must be like 15 arg tall. Actually, I believe it's 16 stories. Apparently, the companies unaffiliated with the IBC are located on the 5th through 10th floors. Oh, really? Interesting. Indeed, they are a significant source of Crossbell's tax revenue. So what's the plan? We did show up without an appointment after all. Why don't we try speaking with the receptionist? She may be able to help us. Oh, Ellie. Ernest. Fancy meeting you here. I see you're with your colleagues, so I can only assume you're here for work. Yes, we are. There's something we'd like to look into. Did grandfather send you here? Ah, yes. I went for a consultation regarding how to manage the office's operational funds. As you know, work will become much busier next month, so I'm trying to get a head start. I see. That makes sense. Oh, by the way, Ellie, have you given some thought to what we discussed? Yes, I have. I apologize, but I'm not ready to resign from the force just yet. I still haven't truly accomplished my goal. As long as that continues to be the case, I won't ever reach my full potential. I'm positive I'd only be a burden to grandfather the way I am now. Could you answer this? Could you answer this at least? Is the road you've taken the only way for you to achieve this goal of yours? Is this goal even achievable in the first place? If it turns out you're just chasing a fantasy, all your efforts would be a waste. I won't deny there's a chance of that. However, the knowledge I've gained these last 2 months has broadened my horizons more than I could have ever hoped. I feel myself growing as a person with each new obstacle we overcome. Had I followed your advice and immediately became one of grandfather's secretaries, I would have missed out on all these valuable experiences. So I'll have to apologize to you once more. I'm going to continue to work with the SSS as hard as I can until I've reached my full potential. Well, at the very least, you're certain about your path now. Does that mean? Yes, I won't press you any further. What a shame. Just when I thought I'd be able to bring on a capable aide. Suppose I was mistaken, though, Ernest. I have one small request of you, though. I would like you to attend the anniversary festival's opening ceremony next month. As much as I'd love for your mother to come, we know that won't be happening. I'm sure your grandfather will be terribly disappointed if not even one of his family members showed up. Understood, I'll make sure to be there. Thank you for always thinking of my grandfather, Ernest. Well, I've been with your family for years, after all. I even still think of myself as your teacher sometimes. This is the least I could do. Oh, would you look at the time? I didn't mean to take you all away from your duties. You'll excuse me, everyone. And please, take good care of Ellie. Of course. I get the impression he worries about you a lot, Ellie. Also, what was that about Ernest being your teacher? Oh, that? He tutored me when I was a child. Sadly, we haven't talked much since I left to study abroad. I assume he intends to become a politician. Correct. I think he plans to announce his candidacy for next year's Diet election. It'll be difficult for him to win, though. I don't think he plans on joining either the Imperial or Republican factions. So he's a little politician in the making, eh? Gotta say, though, he's pretty built for a secretary. Practice some kind of martial arts? He's an experienced fencer, if I recall correctly. I heard that he also serves as grandfather's bodyguard because of his skills. Oh, I see. That explained why he's in shape. Well. Who do we have here? Man, just everybody and their mama is showing up today. Feels like it's been forever since we last met. The news about last month's incidents with those monsters left me speechless. Don't you worry, my friends. I know you've been busting your humps. Grace, please. Now that you mention it, someone else wrote that article, huh? Yep, unfortunately, I was away from Crossbell at the time, covering a different story that needed that special Grace pizzazz. I'm really sad I missed out on the chance to write about you guys again, though. You're my favorite subjects, for sure. I think that may have been better for us in the end. Yeah, getting dunked on all the time by your articles can really wear a guy down, you know. Why can't you guys feel the boundless love I have for you? I'm like a mama bird watching her chicks grow. Well, putting that aside, you do have business here, right? Do I detect hints of another sensational investigation blossoming? No, not at all. It's just your imagination. We're just here to look into a few things, that's all. Well, if you say so. I'm actually pretty busy myself, so I'll leave you guys alone for now. Catch you later, besties. That lady's always marching to the beat of her own drum. She did not hound us as much as she usually does, however. She must be exceedingly busy. I would assume so. She has a lot of ground to cover with the anniversary festival coming up. It'd be nice if we could avoid having her write another article on us. Oh, whatever, let's head inside. We still need to see if we can get ourselves an appointment with the CEO. Yes, let's go. My goodness. In that case, you'll put these points towards Layton versus Wright, along with the previously redeemed points. No Star Fox adventures for you. Layton versus Wright is much better. Ah, snaps. I shall do that. Probably do that on the next break. And yeah, if you want to make any recommendations, don't worry about what the game is or how much it costs. I'll look into it, and you know, if it's insane, like, I'll tell you right now, if you want to recommend Valkyrie Profile, that's never gonna happen. I'm not spending $500 on that game. I did not want to go in there. Which one is the receptionist? An Fei is supposedly used to hold a secretarial role. It shows, too. Her penmanship is absolutely gorgeous. Nothing unusual to report today. The IBC's main offices haven't had any issues ever since opening. Geez, even Layton versus Wright is not 500. Yeah, there's some expensive video games out there. Hello, and welcome to the International Bank of Crossbell. How may we help you today? Hello, Lan Fei. Is Mr. Croy in today? Ah, Miss McDowell, it's good to see you again. You're not here to see Miss Croy. Right, I'm sorry we don't have an appointment set up, but even so, we'd still like to meet with him. Is he available today? Actually, it just so happens he's in his office right now. May I ask who the people accompanying you are? Oh, these are my coworkers from the CPD. We'd like to ask Mr. Croy a few questions regarding a certain incident. Oh, really? Understood. Please wait while I notify him of your arrival. Hang, leave it to Mademoiselle Ellie to have a free pass to the C-suites. Seriously, it's almost like we're from a completely different world. Yes, understood. I'll send them in. Mr. Croy will meet with you now, Miss McDowell. I'll issue you a key card for the elevator. His office is on the top floor. Excellent. Thank you, Lanfei. Shall we board the elevator then? Yes, let's go. Well, let's head on up there and chat with Mr. CEO himself. CEO, you don't got a CID. Young, wild, and strapped like G.I. Lee. Blah! The CEO's office is on the top floor, right? By the way, what was that card she gave you? It's just an identification card. Because of all the different businesses that operate out of this building, the IBC issues cards to access the appropriate floor. So it's basically a big fancy security system then. Almost feels like they're just using all the latest gadgets just because they can. Well, the IBC spearheaded the Crossbell City portion of the Orbital Network project after all. The scope of the project grew to its current size once the Crossbellian government joined. I have heard speculation that the IBC provides approximately 60% of the funding. I've heard the same as well. I believe the government provides 30%, while the Epstein Foundation provides the final 10%. Incredible. I didn't know they were shouldering more than half the cost. So you're telling me Crossbell's most generous man's waiting for us up top, eh? Now then, I'll use the card, and it'll take us where we need to go. Onto a slot. 16th floor. Sing it! Everybody could use a little bit of Luda in their lives, I'm sure. Now. It ain't no Orchid Tower, but no, it's alright. Now look, for now, gotta do some stuff to take care of. Thanks for stopping by, Epic Otter. Appreciate it, and thanks for the recommendations as well. I'll make sure to add those to the list. Speaking of, the viewer request, that time is probably going to be approaching soon. I imagine I'll have another 2 weeks or so with this game. And I plan to play Terraria with heals soon. I don't know if I'm going to stream that. I might just record it. I haven't decided yet. But I would imagine sometime towards the end of October, the beginning of November-ish, depending on how things go, I might do some viewer request games there. So whatever's got the top points is going to be the one I'm going to play. Pending stuff. If the game hasn't been delivered to me yet, then I'll play that one second. This view is amazing. That's a million mirror view. Probably about what it cost them too. I visited the Epstein Foundation's office in this building, but it hardly compares. The view from this floor is exceptional. I absolutely agree. CEO's office is at the end of the hallway. I think it'd be rude for us to keep him waiting after he agreed to meet on such short notice. Good call. Let's save again. Oh, okay. It's locked. It says Bell's room, isn't it? Something the matter, Ellie? Oh, it's nothing. Uncle's office is just down this hallway, Lloyd. We should go. Yes, let's. Bells, 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 bells. There is one character, Maribel? I think that's the character that I'm thinking of. I didn't know. Her last name being Croy. I thought her name. I thought her last name was McDowell, but it's been a while. Maybe it is Croy, the character I'm thinking of. Uncle Dieter, it's Ellie. Oh, come in. Come in. Thank you, sir. Ellie, it's been far too long, and you definitely have that look of I am evil, but I'm a nice guy sometimes too. It reminds me a lot of, I won't say his name, but there's a character in Cold Steel. I guess I shouldn't say anymore. Anyways, it's been far too long, close to half a year if I remember correctly. That sounds about right, but more importantly, I'm glad to see you're doing well, Uncle Dieter. My apologies for not having scheduled a proper appointment with you. Come now, don't talk as though we're strangers. You're my little girl's best friend, and the daughter of my own good friend as well, after all. You are nothing short of family at this point. Thank you, Uncle. Think nothing of it. Now, I've heard from my dear beloved daughter that you joined the CPD. Would these be your fellow officers, then? They are indeed. We're all part of the Special Support Section. Nice to meet you, sir. My name is Lloyd Bannings. I'm Randy Orlando. Tio Plato, how do you do? Nice to finally meet the three of you. I've read all about you in the Crossbell Times. I am Dieter Croy, CEO of the International Bank of Crossbell. Lloyd, Randy, and Tio, you said. We're all friends here, so don't feel like you need to call me Mr. Croy or anything like that. Just Dieter is fine. Okay. Were his teeth gleaming just now? They're so shiny I can smell the mint all the way over here. Anyway, shall we get down to business? I believe you're here to ask me a few questions. Might I ask what they concern? Right, the thing is, we're trying to uncover the truth behind the current investigation, or our current investigation. As of now... Hey, Esper Vex. Afternoon to you as well. How's the game treating me? Game is treating me pretty well at the moment. I will say that in typical Trails fashion, it is starting off a little slow in getting to where I want it to go, but the only reason that I feel that way is because I know the broad strokes of this game, and I know that there's a secret organization planning to do secret things, and I'm just waiting for that moment to happen. With that being said, though, I do like how this game has started off. I think it's probably had the best start of any of the Trails games that I've played. It's felt more natural, and it's felt more what's a good way to say this? It's I think it's done a decent job of kind of making me feel like a detective, but also establishing some really nice world building within Crossbell, and also establishing the factions that are going to be in it, and kind of, the trouble that we're eventually going to get into. I think it's done a really good job of that. Whereas, like Trails in the Sky, for example, is just kind of like we're journeying to become bracers, and that's basically what it's all about. And Trails of Cold Steel, it's like we're students and we're doing unstudent-like things, military academy students. So I really like how this game is very focused on the police work, even though it's they're not really giving me the police work. I know it's crazy to say, but I want to do at least once or twice the mundane police work. Let me be a traffic cop for a second. Let me start waving over traffic, going all over and stuff like that. Let me arrest some sucker fool. Let me chase down some sucker. Let me shoot some sucker. Let me put somebody in jail. Let me do some of the mundane stuff. Anyways, game is going good. I'm enjoying myself. I think I understand your predicament. This Yin fellow sent an orb mail from the IBC to your office, did he? Correct. We suspect it was sent from the IBC's main terminal. Suspect? You said that there was no doubt that it was sent from the main terminal. Now you suspect? There's a strong possibility Yin took control of the terminal in order to do just that. I see. To be perfectly honest, I have the utmost confidence in our building's security. Even more so when it comes to the floor the main terminal is on. Only a few authorized individuals can access it as is. Furthermore, you must have the proper authentication to operate the terminal. I know this may be rude of me to ask, but have any employees with the proper clearance been acting suspiciously recently? Perhaps a recent hire or somebody who's been acting out of the ordinary. Not that I can think of. I have the utmost trust in every single one of the employees with access. But that brings me to another thought, Lloyd. Have you explored any other possibilities? Huh? For example, what if I was pretending to be this Yin character and I sent you the message? Now you're just playing with us. What? You're joking, right, Uncle? Calm down, everyone. It was purely hypothetical, of course. Could you imagine the headlines if I had revealed that I was in fact a legendary assassin? It goes without saying, but reality is hardly ever that outlandish. Right, of course. Uncle, I would appreciate it if you didn't scare us like that, even hypothetically. He is quite the practical joker. I apologize for the fright. However, I would give things a second glance if I were you. If one of my employees was truly responsible for sending you the orb mail, given that only a limited amount of people have access to the terminal, wouldn't it implicate them? I suppose so. That is true. So we might need to consider the possibility our suspect's not with the IBC. Hey Tio, that transmission between the IBC and SSS terminals, would it be possible to mask the location it was sent from? An interesting question. It is possible that the IBC's main terminal was hacked from an external source. Hacked? What the heck does that mean? I don't fully understand it myself, but I believe it's a technique used from the unauthorized operation of a terminal primarily by breaching one's security system. That is essentially correct. Any terminal connected to the Orbital network can, theoretically, be accessed by another terminal. You would need to be unbelievably talented and familiar with the technology, of course. People capable of accessing terminals through such means are known as hackers. Ah, I see where things are falling into place now. We had that scene with that little kid, that hacker kid, and they were he was contacted by AOA. I don't know. Well, he's probably the one. Well, he's okay. So I see how things are gonna go. We're eventually gonna stumble upon his hideout, and we're gonna meet him, and we're gonna slap him silly. Maybe give him the belt too. The Orbital network is still in its testing phase, so there are a limited number of places that have access to terminals. But despite these limitations, we have already begun to encounter security issues. Interesting. So you're telling me, not only is this Yin guy some crazy assassin, but he's also one of these hackers. I don't think we should jump to conclusions, though we should consider the possibility that the orb mail was sent from elsewhere. I wonder why they're so dead set on like not implicating Yin. For whatever reason, they just don't want to entertain the thought that Yin snuck into the the place with the terminal and sent the transmission. Very, very strange. Well, I truly hope the situation is resolved without me having to doubt my loyal employees. More importantly, it poses a serious problem if the main terminal has been hacked. I have an idea. Would you like to enter the terminal room and investigate it for yourselves? Seriously? Are you sure that's okay? Of course. You may be able to find evidence of hacking if you examine the terminal itself. I'll have the staff down there assist you in case you have any questions. That would be incredibly helpful, sir. Thank you, Uncle. We really appreciate it. My pleasure. Besides, as CEO, this is an issue I can't afford to overlook. And I must say, Ellie, I get the impression your days have been quite fulfilling as of late. Pardon? I had my reservations when I first heard you decided to join the CPD. But it does seem like a job that will net you some very valuable real-world experience. So please allow me to aid you in any way I can. Uncle Dieter. Reassuring to hear that from you. I'm glad. Oh, and one more thing. Speaking with the four of you face to face, I see even more potential than I did reading the articles about you. Feel free to give me some money. I'm broke over here. I'm sure you've realized this already, but Crossbell is plagued with a rather unique set of problems. I'm sure Ellie is painfully aware of this as well. I believe that the most significant problem we face as a society is that justice has lost all substance. It has become a shadow of its former self. What do you mean, sir? Could you elaborate, please? The idea, the very concept of justice, has become nothing more than an empty vessel, lip service, if you will. Everyone has their own perspective, of course. Some even scoff at the mere mention of it, claiming there is no such thing as justice. Whatever their opinions, however, one truth remains. Humankind are creatures that will, to our dying breath, chase after the ideal of justice. And why is that? Justice is the foundation of society, something that people can believe in. If criminals were not bound by that justice we call law, people would isolate themselves in the safety of their own homes, never to venture out into what we see as a dangerous world. If that were the case, any hope of a functioning society would disappear. While justice has become somewhat ambiguous in Crossbell, we still manage to live our lives. Maybe so. Political corruption, the criminal underworld. Even if the police cannot tame them, the economic prosperity we currently experience allows our citizenry to live their lives in relative comfort. Petty crime is at an all-time low because of it, but an unseen evil still spreads across our land. And sensing it, people seek justice. From the very core of their being, they silently cry out for it. Because no matter what shape or form justice takes, people will always pursue it, just as they pursue the security that comes with society itself. And that is precisely why Crossbell's bracers experience the popularity they do. Oh, with the safety of the civilians above all else. They certainly do seem to be allies of justice. Ain't that the truth? I'd already gotten the feeling Crossbellans worship the Guild way more than any other country does. Yes, it certainly does make sense. The extent to which bracers can exercise justice is severely limited, however. As they are, it is simply impossible for them to resolve the injustices of this city. They are a bandage at best. That is why I expect great things from you. You may be the lasting cure Crossbell needs. What? So you're telling us we need to start taking down the bad guys in place of bracers, then? Oh, were it only that simple. No, that's not what I intend for you. It's clear to me that you four are pursuing justice in your own way, and I think it's important you demonstrate that to the people so they can see it for themselves. Oh, justice still lives on in Crossbell. You want us to give people a reason to believe that. Exactly. And for that reason, every article that the Crossbell Times publishes on the special support section is vital to your success. You may still be young and inexperienced, and you may make mistakes from time to time, but I believe everyone will notice your earnest pursuit of justice. There will be some who don't take you seriously, yes. However, I sincerely doubt there will be many among Crossbell citizens who will oppose your work. In fact, I think quite a few people have already begun to place their hopes in the SSS, even if they may not show it quite yet. Look at me delivering a passionate speech in the heat of the moment. Let's return to the issue at hand, shall we? I believe I was about to give you permission to go and inspect the terminal room. That's right. Yes, we'd really appreciate that. Where should we go to gain access? Let me see. I have access, and normally I would gladly escort you there, but unfortunately I have many matters to attend to once our meeting is finished. Oh, our apologies. We didn't mean to take up so much of your time. Not at all, Ellie. I quite enjoyed our chat. Shall I have one of my employees take you? That was what you originally proposed. That won't be necessary. That's the daughter? Who is she? Belle. Ah, so you've returned. Yes, Father, I just arrived moments ago. It's been too long, Ellie. Cut it out, Belle. How long has it been? 2 months? 3? Have you gotten thinner, Ellie? Have you been eating right? You can always fix that, no problem. I also see that your arms and legs have shaped up nicely too. Very impressive. It's only natural that I'd build some muscle given our daily routines. Because of that, I may have actually gained a few pounds, believe it or not. Oh, is that right? Oh, now that you mention it, I can feel all this new muscle. It feels amazing, I must say. It suits you well. Belle. She's bold, isn't she? Thank you, Adios. I will treasure this moment for the rest of my life. I get the impression their relationship transcends your ordinary friendship. Maribel. I was right. I know how much. Well, I was right, but I was wrong. But I was right, but I was also wrong. I was mostly wrong, but I was right. I know how you enjoy your special brand of touchy-feely reunions, but I think that's enough for now. After all, our guests are quite busy today. Oh, my apologies. Everyone, allow me to introduce my friend. This is Maribel Croy, Uncle Dieter's daughter and my best friend. These are my colleagues, Belle, Lloyd, Randy, and Tio. Now, enough with the introductions. I'd much rather inspect them myself. E. What? Can I help you? You pass, dear. You're as cute as a button. You two fail, miserably. What? Why? The heck? I'm as cute as a button too. Cuter, even. The thought of you mangy mutts being by my dear Ellie's side, day in, day out is revolting. The goddess herself must be sighing, no, sobbing at this tragedy. Absolutely unacceptable. Did you just call us mutts? Calm down, Belle. And what's with your outfits? They are far too casual for someone of Ellie's pedigree. You could have at least had the decency to wear an appropriate suit. My outfit? All these clothes make traveling easier, like when we have to hike through the mountains or cross difficult terrain. But I ask for your excuses. You see, Ellie, this is exactly why I didn't want you to work for the CPD. Why couldn't you have worked for me instead? It would have been a much more worthwhile use of your time and talent. That's enough, Belle. Well, my office has certainly become a lively place. You're all about the same age, so I'm glad to see you're all getting along so well. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's time for me to stop putting off my next appointment. Could you show our guests to the terminal room, Belle? Terminal room? Why do they need to go there? You can ask them for the finer details. Farewell, everyone. It was a pleasure. Now get the steppin', suckers. Oh. I thought he was kicking us out of the house. I thought, open the door and be like, it's time to leave now. A tactical retreat, if I have ever seen one. Oh, Father. If you're ready, then could you lead us to... Hey, I wasn't finished with you yet. You there, with the fiery red hair and loud orange coat. Do you honestly think that's acceptable? A built physique like yours demands to be shown off in a suit, like a real man. Who, me? Sorry to disappoint, but suits just ain't my style. I'm more into the casual look. Fits my effortlessness. her effortless swagger better. Don't worry though, I may be a ladies' man, but I'd never try to seduce Mademoiselle Ellie on a romantic moonlit night. You know, like my man Lloyd here did. Excuse me? Randy, why? Can you not say it in such a misleading way? I fail to see what exactly about that description was misleading. Besides, your mood has improved drastically since last night. Theo, please. Oh, come on, Theo, not you too. Lloyd, wasn't it? Care to elaborate on your friend's little story, because there's something I'd like to know. What vile, lecherous things have you done to my sweet, innocent Ellie? I haven't done anything to her. Ellie, would you please back me up here? I think I understand the situation now. Shall I show you to the terminal room then? That would be lovely, Belle. If it's not too much trouble. Of course not. I'd do anything for you, Ellie. So, have we cleared up that misunderstanding? Whatever, I'm over it. So you're the special support section. Curious to see what you're capable of. And whether or not you can prove to me that you're worthy of being Ellie's colleague. Okay, why is she only directing this at me? Man, you definitely just shot straight up the top of her danger list. My condolences. Think you've had enough fun, Belle. Could you show us to the terminal room now? Of course, follow me. Terminal room is down on floor B5. Shall we board the elevator then? She's a real piece of work. I promise she's not a bad person. Just sometimes I can't be sure if she's being overbearing or overly enthusiastic or both. She and her old man sure make quite the intense duo, don't they? I suppose that is to be expected for the family that owns the famous International Bank of Crossbell. Alright, I need to save. I'm going to save. Now I'm going to mark. And I need to stop recording and start recording. Let me just add this game. But Leighton versus Wright. Well, I'll add the details later, but 50,000. My goodness. A lot there, points there. All right, stop recording.